Welcome back again to my channel and to my kitchen. I am going to be making a very requested recipe, my version of making Christmas or New Year's ham in your kitchen. So if you want to see how I do it my way, come on and go with me. Let's go! Well, here we go, guys. Right here I have about a 4 or 5 pound ham, right? This ham is cooked ham. It's already cooked. What I did to clean it up, I washed it off with vinegar and lemon juice first thing. And then on the top here, I cut the upper skin off. That hard part of the ham, you want to make sure and cut it off. If you notice, I leave some of the fat on the ham, because I want that ham to have flavor. When I put the pineapple and all the sweet marinade sauce on it to have the flavor. So this is what my ham looks like, and now I'm going to go through my ingredients and then we'll move to the next step. Let's go over our ingredients and make sure everything I may show you if I put on this baked ham, do not take anything out. This is my way that I do it. So let's go through our ingredients. You are going to need 2 teaspoons of mustard sauce. Any kind of mustard you have in your kitchen, you go ahead and use it. That's 2 teaspoons. You're going to use 1 cup of guava jelly. Now, if you don't have guava jelly, go ahead and use strawberry jelly, but don't use grape jelly in it. I would recommend that. You're also going to need a 1/2 cup of honey. You're going to need your cherry. Of course, you're going to need your pineapple, and this pineapple I'm using is the one in the can. So you're going to need 1 can of pineapple slices. Also, you're going to need 1 cup of brown sugar. You're going to need 1 cup of pineapple juice. The pineapple juice I'm using is the one that comes from the can, so you're going to definitely use that. Also, I'm going to be using some cheese to finish off the dish. So this is sharp cheddar cheese. The cheddar cheese that I'm using has the white cheddar and the yellow cheddar cheese together. If you don't have that, you can't find that, use any kind of cheddar cheese you have, but I would suggest you buy the yellow sharp cheddar cheese. Of course, you're going to need your toothpick. To that, I'm going to add some cinnamon powder. I'm going to add a little bit of ginger. I'm also going to add my vinegar, but the vinegar that I'm choosing to use in this recipe, it is the apple cider vinegar. It has that sweet taste to it, and that's what I want for the ham. And finally, guys, what I'm also going to be adding to this to give it a boost of flavor, a little bit of garlic. Let's say about a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic, and depending on how big your ham is, you might want to put a full teaspoon of garlic. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of all-purpose Jamaican seasoning. So come on, let's get all this together. Let's go through the first step. This is what I do when I'm getting my ham ready. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and add your pineapple in. And this is 1 cup of pineapple, the pineapple juice from the can that I opened. Add your brown sugar in. Do not use granulated sugar, guys. Brown sugar only. This is 1 cup of brown sugar. And add your guava jelly. And again, if you don't have guava jelly, you use strawberry jelly. And that's 1 cup. Add your honey, a 1/2 cup of honey. 2 teaspoons of mustard. You're going to add your salt, your garlic, and your all-purpose Jamaican seasoning. If you don't have that, the all-purpose Jamaican seasoning, use just regular all-purpose seasoning. It doesn't have to say Jamaican on there. I'm going to add a pinch of ginger in there. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. My apple cider vinegar. So I'm gonna put a teaspoon in there. Now guys, I'm gonna let this come to a bubble and let everything just melt out nice. And I'm gonna let it sit. Turn off the fire after everything come together and let it sit and just cool down. And when it cool down, I go ahead and add it to the ham, okay? So when this thing come together, I will let you guys see what it looks like. So see you back in a few. So this is exactly what I want it to look like. When it comes to a full bubble like this, that's how I know that it is ready for glazing my ham. Alright, so now let's go move on to the next step. Alright, now for this step, you're going to need your foil paper. Right, so you're going to need a foil paper for this. And you're also going to need a brush. Also, you're going to need your pineapple for this step. You're going to need your cherry. And you're also going to need your toothpick. The first thing you want to do is you're going to cut this ham going across. And the reason why I'm doing this is because when I put my glaze on, I want it to go right through to the meat. Okay? So, I'm just going to give it a little slice here. And remember guys, this ham is cooked ham. It's going to take about 2 hours to cook this ham. I'm going to cut it going across like this as well. So, this is what this step is going to look like. When you cut it, you want to make sure that you're going to cut it enough so you get the marinated, nice sweet marinated juice into the meat. Alright? You want to get your pineapple and place it on the meat like that. You get your toothpick, so, and don't be afraid to work with that cherry. Okay guys, so this is what the ham looks like after I put the pineapple and the cherry on top. Guys, I want you to know that I left one slice of the pineapple to top off the dish when I'm done, and I also left a couple of my cherry as well to finish it up with that cheese and stuff. I'll show you in my last step. This thing, and after I'm finished glazing it, I'm going to let it sit for about a good 45 minutes. If you're doing it overnight, you can put it in your fridge and let it sit overnight. If not, 45 minutes is pretty good. So this is my glaze. Make sure you make this glaze cool down a little here. And make sure you get that glaze to go down into the meat, because that is what is going to give it that good flavor that you're looking for. Guys, another thing about baking ham, with the glaze, you don't want to use up all of it to do this. Make sure you leave quite a bit of it out, because the ham takes 2 hours. This ham is going to take about 2 hours to bake, right? So you want to make sure you have some of this glaze. Every half an hour you take it out of the oven and you put some more glaze on it. So that means you're going to do it within 3 times. And then the last time you take it out, that's when you're going to make it cool down, and then you're going to go to that last step, which is putting the rest of the cherry on there with some cheese and a little bit more of that pineapple. I'll show you guys what that last step is going to be. So this looks pretty good, and just make sure you have enough of that in there. I'm just going to go ahead and just put just a little bit more so they could have some to marinate it in the bottom of the ham. Guys, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my foil paper and I'm going to cover this thing up. Make sure you put your foil paper before you put it in the oven, okay, so you don't burn up the stick, and just give it room. I'm going to let this sit for about 45 minutes. I'm going to pop it in my oven. My oven is set to 350 degrees preheated, and it's going to be baked for 2 hours. So okay guys, the ham has been baking for exactly 2 hours. So that is what it looks like after 2 hours. Remember, every half an hour I went and glazed it again. Every half an hour, so I did it 4 times. Now this is your final step. After 2 hours of baking, right? the rest of your glaze, you just want to go ahead and pour it on top of your ham, just like so, all over it. Just make sure you don't miss any spots. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back into the oven for exactly a half an hour, nothing less, because it's already cooked now. But just want to get a little bit more color. After a half an hour, I'm going to take it out of the oven and I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'm going to decorate it with some more pineapple and cherry and cheese. So I'll see you back in half an hour. Ham is all finished, as you can see. Alright, so what I'm going to do, guys, to make this even more presentable, I'm going to be decorating this beautiful, lovely ham. If you ever smell my kitchen, the kitchen turn up loud. Again, you're going to need your toothpick. You're going to need that cherry that was left over, a little bit of that pineapple as well, and remember that sharp cheddar cheese. And whatever kind of cheddar cheese you have, just go ahead and use it. So this is how I decorate my ham. You get your toothpick, you get your pineapple, you push it through the toothpick, and just play around with it. It doesn't matter how you get it on, but just make sure you get them colors there. Alright? So basically this is what you're doing. Just like so, and then you just stick it down into it. Okay guys, I'm all done putting on the cheese and the pineapple and the cherry on top of the ham. The last thing I'm going to do is get the rest of that glaze and just pour it on top of this. Ham in my kitchen just for you guys. On behalf of me and my family, we want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. And once again, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy! I'm gonna let this cook for a good 30 minutes on medium heat. Cover it up nice and make it simmer. And when it's done simmer, it's time for we eat. So see you back in a few minutes.
So this is in with your foundation, full coverage, you know, like bam. And last but not least, the last thing I tend to go for in my makeup collection is this palette right here. Let me show you what this baby looks like. It has a whole bunch of concealers. I believe it's $10 for this palette.